Hello and welcome to the Fifi McGee Home Renovation Budget Planner tutorial video. Just to introduce myself, I'm Neil, and for the last 2 years I've been renovating a house with Fiona, aka Fifi McGee. Other than being a person who is my fiance, Fifi McGee is a home interiors and lifestyle blog. We've been documenting our progress of our renovation, and if you're interested you can go and see all of the pictures from when we first moved in, how it looked when it was very dated and very granified. And we documented our progress through blog posts and photos. One of the biggest challenges we found whilst working on our renovation was keeping track of expenses, and so we created this spreadsheet just to keep track of things. The first challenge really when you're doing a renovation is understanding the scale of the cost, and this spreadsheet helps to calculate initially a finger in the air estimate of how much your renovation will be. Another challenge is keeping track of all of the quotes that you're receiving, so this spreadsheet also tracks that. And although you have the quotes in, you may not necessarily get the same cost at the end when things change. Sometimes the contractors will find something wrong with your house that you didn't realise to start with, and then the costs begin to escalate. So by tracking the actual paid out, you can see whether you are on target to meet your budget. So from the start, the first thing you want to do is enter your rooms or your areas into this sheet. The sheet's called data. You can put as many as you like really into here, but this will just help you categorize things, break things down. I've put 3 examples: living room, kitchen and bathroom. So we'll use those in our example. You'll also need to put in a contingency percentage. This is defaulted to 10%. It may be higher than that for you or it may be lower, but it's best to just do some Googling around and make sure that that percentage is correct for your scale of project. I found from my research that 10% is a good start as a contingency. Projects will go up, but if you include 10%, you know that you have an extra bit of buffer if you need it. Onto the renovation list tab. Each column has a header, and on that header you have a note, so if you get stuck at any stage you can just hover over and it will tell you exactly what you need to put in. The first column includes a drop down containing the options that you chose in the data list tab. Just choose that from the list. The second column is category, just helps you categorize so that you can find things later if necessary. In the item tab, this further drills down into the exact item that you want to track. The contractor or link column allows you to either paste in a hyperlink to the item that you're tracking or insert a contractor name and telephone number. Once you've entered all of your items that you want to track, you can then start doing your first budget estimate. As the note here says, the estimate is just your estimate from Googling and asking around. So we found that you can find an awful lot of information on the internet specifically about budget. Forums and different websites have finger in the air estimates about how much things cost. Always make sure that you remember the regional differences. So if you're looking at something from the north of England, that will be a great deal cheaper than if it's from the south of England. The budget estimate is not going to be an exact or even a near exact figure. The budget estimate column isn't designed to be accurate, it's just a finger in the air estimate. It will help you to understand the scale of the budget. One hint I would have with the budget estimate column is to try and be as honest as possible. Sometimes it feels like you want to try and make the figure smaller so that it feels more achievable, but it's actually far better to overestimate in the long run. The next step is the quote estimate. This is when you start getting quotes in from contractors and start firming up on the costs that you've been looking at on the internet for your ordered items. By this stage, you will be able to start populating the contractor link column with all of the contractors or links that you've found so far. The third stage is when you're actually during the renovation. At this stage, you'll need to be very regimented because there will be so many costs and they'll be going out very frequently. So now I'm just going to add some items just so that we can see how the calculations play out in the financials page. The financial sheet is where you start to understand how your expenses are actually doing. The first column is room or area, and as you can see, it shows you the living room, kitchen, and bathroom in this example. The second column is your budget plus contingency. These values represent a total of the budget you entered for the area in question plus a contingency. The second column is your quote total. This is an estimate based on what you have been quoted by a contractor or what you expect to pay for an ordered item. This column is your total paid so far. This represents the amount that you have entered into the actual paid cost for the area in question. The projected total is perhaps one of the most important columns in this spreadsheet. It represents the total expected cost based on what we know so far. If no actual costs have been entered, then we use the quote total. If no quotes have been entered, then we use your budget estimate. So as an example, in this row, we would know the actual paid cost, so we would use this figure. In this row, we know the quote estimate, so we use this figure. In this row, we don't have any quote estimate or actual paid cost, so we use the budget estimate figure. So as I say, it projects a total based on the information we know so far. The next column is a simple sum based on the budget plus contingency minus the projected total. So in this example, we have a green, which means that we are under budget, which is great. If it was a red cell like this, that means we're over budget by 340 for the kitchen. And this column tells you whether we're over budget or not. This table represents the totals of all of these columns: budget and contingency total, quote total, total paid so far, projected total, and over under budget. As you can see, this project is over budget by 174. Take it from us, it is really easy to go over budget, but with a bit of planning using this tool, it should help to prevent nasty surprises during the project. Thank you for watching our tutorial. If anyone has any questions or comments, please do not hesitate to contact us via our social channels, and make sure to follow Fifi McGee on Instagram to keep up to date with all of our progress. Thanks for watching.